SPM Practice 1. Good afternoon and welcome back to Student Life Today. With us in the studio is school counsellor MS Neural, who will be talking about screen time. MS Neural, many parents say their children are glued to their phones. Is this really a problem? Thank you for inviting me. Yes, it can be a serious problem. Phones and gadgets are useful, but when students cannot put them down even during meals or study time, it may be a sign of addiction. They feel uncomfortable or restless when the device is not in their hands. Over time, this habit eats into their sleep, homework, and even family time. Some teenagers say they use their phones to relax after school. Is that wrong? It is not wrong to relax. In fact, everyone needs to unwind after a long day. The issue is how long they spend on the screen and what they are doing with it. Scrolling through social media for hours creates distraction and makes it harder to concentrate later. Students tell me they sit down to study but keep checking messages and notifications. By the end of the night, they feel tired but realize they have learnt almost nothing. So what can students do to manage their screen time better? The first step is to be honest about how much time they actually spend on their devices. Most phones can show daily usage. After that, students should draw clear boundaries. For example, they can decide that phones are kept away during homework, mealtimes, and 1 hour before bed. It also helps to create a simple study schedule and stick to it. Once they complete a block of revision, they can reward themselves with a short, timed break on their phones. What about parents? How can they help without starting an argument every day? Parents can start by setting a good example. If adults are always on their phones, teenagers will copy them. Families can agree on common rules, such as no gadgets at the dining table and a fixed charging spot outside the bedroom at night. I always remind parents to praise their children when they follow the rules. It is easier for teenagers to accept limits when they feel respected and involved in the decision. Any final advice for our listeners who are struggling with this issue? I want students to know that no one expects them to change overnight. Start with small and realistic goals, such as reducing screen time by 30 minutes a day. Use that extra time to read, exercise, or talk to family members. After a few weeks, many students notice that their sleep improves, their mood is better, and they can focus more in class. That is when they realize that controlling their phones actually gives them more freedom, not less.
SPM Practice 2. You are listening to Youth Voice FM. Today we're talking about helping others, and with me in the studio is teacher and club advisor Mr. Daniel. Many students think volunteering is only for adults. Is that true? Not at all. In fact, secondary school students can make a huge difference. When they join a charity club or a school project, they are not just giving away time. They are learning about real problems in society and seeing how their actions can help. Even simple activities like visiting an old folks' home or cleaning up a park can open their eyes to the needs of the community around them. Some students say they are too busy with homework and tuition. Why should they still consider joining? I understand that students are busy, but volunteering does not have to take up every weekend. Many schools run short projects during holidays or after exams. When students take part, they often discover that helping others actually reduces stress because they stop thinking only about their own problems. They also make new friends, practice communication, and learn to work with people from different backgrounds. These are experiences they cannot get just by staying at home and scrolling on their phones. What kind of volunteer work is suitable for teenagers? There are many options. Some groups visit children in hospitals to read stories or play simple games. Others help pack food and basic supplies for families in need. School clubs may organize gotong royong at public places or run donation drives for flood victims. Students who like talking to people can help raise awareness about health or environmental issues at school events. The important thing is to choose activities that are safe, supervised and supported by the school or a trusted organization. Parents sometimes worry about safety or about their children being used as free labor. What would you say to them? That concern is understandable. Parents should always check who is in charge of the program and what the activities involve. Good organizations will clearly explain the schedule, provide adult supervision, and ensure that students are not doing dangerous tasks. I also remind parents that volunteering is a powerful way for teenagers to build character. They learn to be more patient, responsible, and grateful for what they have at home. Before we end, do you have any final words for students who are still unsure? F. I would encourage them to try at least one project this year. Start small, maybe with a one-day event. After they come back, they can reflect on what they saw and how they felt. Many students tell me that their first volunteering experience changed the way they look at life. They realize that helping others doesn't make them weaker. It actually makes them stronger and more confident.
SPM Practice 3. M. You are listening to Healthy Teens. Today we are talking about sleep, something many students say they do not get enough of. In the studio with me is Dr. Lim, a specialist in child and adolescent health. Doctor, why is sleep so important for teenagers? F. Thank you for inviting me. Teenagers are still growing, so their bodies and brains need enough rest every night. During deep sleep, the brain processes new information and stores memories from the day. This is important for learning and problem solving. When students sleep well, they wake up with more energy, can focus better in class, and are less likely to fall sick. M. Many students say they sleep late because of homework, tuition, and of course their phones. What problems can lack of sleep cause? F. When teenagers do not get enough sleep, they may feel tired and irritable the next day. It becomes harder for them to pay attention, and they may make careless mistakes in their work. Some start to depend on sugary snacks or drinks with caffeine to stay awake, which only makes their sleep pattern worse at night. Over time, poor sleep can affect their mood, health, and exam results. M. How many hours of sleep should a teenager get? F. Most teenagers need around 8 to 10 hours of sleep each night, but many only get 5 or 6. I encourage students to think of sleep as part of their revision plan, not as something extra. Going to bed and waking up at about the same time every day helps the body develop a healthy rhythm. This is much better than staying up very late on weekdays and then sleeping until noon on weekends. M. What practical steps can students take if they want to improve their sleep? F. One simple step is to create a short, relaxing routine before bed. For example, they can read a book, stretch gently, or prepare their school bag for the next day. They should also keep phones and other gadgets away from the bed, because bright screens tell the brain to stay awake. It is a good idea to avoid heavy meals and drinks with caffeine at night. The bedroom should be quiet, dark, and cool so that the body receives a clear message that it is time to rest. M. Some students say they can catch up on sleep just before exams. Is that true? F. Unfortunately, it does not work that way. You cannot fix weeks of poor sleep with 1 or 2 long nights of rest. Good sleep is about habits that are repeated every day. When teenagers look after their sleep early in the year, they arrive at exam season with a stronger body and clearer mind. That is far better than trying to push through the night with coffee and keep their eyes open until morning. M. Thank you, Dr. Lim, for sharing these tips with us. F. Thank you. I hope students and parents remember that protecting sleep is one of the smartest ways to protect health and results.
SPM Practice 4. M. You're listening to Smart Choices. Today we're talking about staying safe on the internet. With me is Puan Ada, a teacher who runs the school's ICT club. Puan Ada, teenagers use the internet every day. Why is this topic so important now? F. Thank you for having me. The internet is part of daily life for most students. They use it for homework, games, chatting with friends, and watching videos. It can be very useful, but it also comes with risks. If teenagers are not careful, they may share too much personal information, click on dangerous links, or believe fake messages. So they must learn how to use it wisely, not just freely. M. Many students enjoy posting photos and stories. What should they remember before they post anything? F. A simple rule is think before you share. Once something is posted, it can be copied, saved, and spread, even if you delete it later. Students should check who can see their posts and keep their accounts private. They must avoid sharing details like their full name, address, school timetable, or phone number. These may look harmless, but they can be misused by people with bad intentions. M. Teenagers also like chatting with people they meet in games and social media. Is that dangerous? F. It can be. Not everyone online is who they claim to be. Some pretend to be teenagers when they are actually adults. I always remind students not to trust new friends too quickly. They should never agree to meet someone they only know from the internet, and they should not send photos or videos just because someone asks. If a conversation makes them feel uncomfortable, they should stop and tell a trusted adult. M. What about online scams? We hear more and more about them these days. F. Yes, online scams are a big problem. Scammers may send messages saying that the student has won a prize or needs to pay a small fee to receive a gift. Others pretend to be bank officers or delivery companies and ask for one-time passwords or bank details. Teenagers must learn to recognize these tricks. Real organizations will not rush you, threaten you, or ask for secret codes through messages. When in doubt, do not click, do not pay, and always check with an adult. M. If something goes wrong, what should a teenager do? F. The most important thing is not to hide it. If they receive rude messages, dangerous pictures, or anything that feels wrong, they should save the evidence and talk to a parent, teacher, or school counselor. Together, they can block the account, change passwords, and report the case to the platform or even the authorities if needed. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a smart and responsible step. M. Thank you, Pew and Ada, for the reminder. F. Thank you. I hope every student remembers that staying safe online is just as important as staying safe on the road.